Okay, my gorgeous babes, we are on now part 13. Who the hell did I marry? So, Takis has walked in. He has unsheathed his arm that now has, as many of you noticed, a very melted, messed up version of my face that doesn't even look like me permanently on his arm. I screamed. I was like, what in God's name did you do, sir? And he's like, what? I thought that you would like it. I'm like, first of all, they did not do a great job. Second of all, you didn't even finish it. You got it halfway through. And third of all, who in God's name told you to do this? And he's like, well, I wanted to prove to you that I'm serious about us and that I want to make this work and that you're my forever girl. I'm like, okay, you cannot put that on me. Just because you have now maimed your body forever doesn't mean that I'm going to feel like I owe you my life, right? I'm like, I haven't ended our separation. You can't just walk in here. The agreement was I would tell you when I was good and ready, and I would come to you when I was ready to talk and had made a decision. And he's like, you haven't made a decision yet? I was like, no, I haven't. And he was like, oh, is it because you've just been like fucking around? And I'm like, well, that is one part of it. I have been out living my life and realizing that maybe I am okay without you. Maybe I made a mistake by marrying you so quickly, and maybe this is just the life that I want to live because I'm young, I'm hot, I have free will, and I have the rest of my life. And why do I want to be tied down to you, a man that can't even give me the bare minimum of his time and attention, can't even talk to me when he has a problem? He's like, look, I'm done being separated. I don't want to be apart anymore. I miss you. I miss the house. I miss the dogs. I miss my bed, and I just want to be with you. I'm like, well, that is too damn bad. You should have thought about that before you be calling other girls baby princesses. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you may shoo away now to the hovel that you have crawled out of, but I am not done being separated. So he was like, oh yeah, you have a date tonight? I'm like, I don't know. It's my free will and my choice. So you can do whatever you want. Now is your chance to get all these horny thoughts and movements that you want to get out of the way. I'm living my life and my truth. And so he leaves pissed, right? And so that night, I was actually going out with this guy that I had been seeing a little bit. We had probably been, I want to say, on 4 to 5 dates. We're going to call him Richie. Richie was rich. He was a LA-born guy, half Korean, half white, gorgeous, and he was mysteriously wealthy. And I at first thought that he was just kind of in the scene, like he was very well known in the K-Town scene, in the downtown LA scene. Like everywhere we go, whenever we go out, people would know him. I mean, the second week that I was dating this man, he bought me a pair of Louboutins, these little babies. I wear them all the time, even though they literally feel like they were made by someone that hates women's feet because they're so uncomfortable, but I love them. He was whining and dining me. He was taking me to these nice dinners, and I was like, okay, Taki's who? You know, like I don't want this man that's excommunicated from his country that cannot give me the bare minimum. And Richie was always so affectionate and very open about how he felt about me, and he knew my situation, obviously, that I was separated. And so we were going out that night with some of my friends and his friends to good old Exchange LA. Apparently it is still around, but this was when it was like super popping. And if you live in LA, you know that it is like this insanely big, gargantuous hole of hell that people just go to dry hump and party, and it is just always a blast. So I get ready wearing some sparkly, god-awfully short number and tall ass heels, and two of my friends come over. Selena, the one that I was texting with that was like, should we ruin the man's life? And then my other friend, Chrissy. Richie and his friends pick us up. They come pick us up in an Uber, and we head down to Exchange LA. Now, very quick side quest story. This is the way that I had met Richie. My friends and I were out at Avalon nightclub, if you remember that place. I actually don't know if it's still around. I don't think it is. But that was a venue where a lot of people would go and hang out with their friend Molly and basically party and laugh and dance, and it was just a good time. So me and my girlfriends were there. And the way the place is set up was they had a music venue kind of area in the front. There's a bunch of tables around here and then seats all around, and I think there was like a little balcony over here. So my friends and I were kind of standing towards the VIP tables in the middle, and I just feel someone like kind of just lightly graze my shoulder. And I turn, and there's this dude standing there, probably like 6'1", wearing a Stussy shirt, some fucking baggy ass Carhartt pants, a Louis Vuitton belt, and a side little cap. And I was like, okay, tall drink of water, I see you, sir. Slightly Asian looking man. He was like, hey. And I'm like, hi. And he's like, would you and your friends like to sit at our table and have a drink? And me and my friends were like, yeah, I mean, he was so polite about it. Out of the many times I've been asked to sit at men's tables in my life, this was the most polite and sweet way a man has ever invited me gently and very sweetly to their table. So we sit down with them, we're chatting with them. He pours us some drinks, and he was just like, where are you from? He was so well spoken. He was incredibly cultured, very gentlemanly, and was just very respectful the whole time. He's the type of guy that if he's trying to lead you somewhere, instead of putting his arm around you, he like hovers it behind your back to try to lead you, you know, not ever touching you without actually asking permission. So we hang out with them. I tell him a little bit about myself. And at the end of the night, he's like, hey, I'd really love to take you to a nice dinner. Can I get your number? And I was like, I need to be upfront with you. I'm actually married, but I am separated right now. And I'm not really sure what's going on in my marriage, but I just want to be incredibly transparent with you that that's where I'm at. And he was like, I completely understand. Thank you so much for your honesty, but I just think you're such a classy, cool girl. I just love to take you out anyways. Even if it doesn't come to anything except for friendship, I would love that. I'm like, great. So the first night he takes me out to this sushi place in downtown LA. We have a great time. We laugh. We just have a lot in common. At the end of the night, he's like, okay, I'll send you home now. So I'm like, okay. So he's about to grab me a car. And then he gets a phone call from his mom. And it was like late, like maybe like 10:30. Apparently his mom and him owned the building that he was living in. And she was there trying to get into the building to help a tenant or something. And he was like, I'm so sorry. My mom's at my building. She needs me to let her up because her key's not working or something. So would you mind if we stop by there and then I'll send you an Uber from the front of my place? I was like, yeah, absolutely. He was like, I promise I'm not trying to just get you to my place. So we go there. His mom is waiting outside. She's like this tiny 4'11" Korean woman, adorable. She was wearing one of those kind of muumuu dresses and just a super rare, like $50,000 Hermes, one that looks like a robot, and it was bright pink. And I was like, girl, your bag is popping. And she's like, oh, hi. And I was like, hi. And she's like, oh, Richie, very pretty. Were you out with my son? And I was like, I was out with your son. And she was like, was he nice to you? Did he feed you? Is he taking you home? Did he offer to get you dessert? Like, she's like peppering me with questions. I'm like, your son is a perfect gentleman. He treated me very well. Thank you very much. And then she's like, okay, good. She's like, did he bring you flowers? And then I look at Richie and he's like, shit. And I'm like, he did not bring me flowers. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I was in a hurry from work and I completely meant to grab some, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't late to pick you up. And she just starts hitting him with her expensive ass bag in Korean, just yelling at him, being like, Richie, da 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 da. I'm like, damn, okay, you learned well from your mother. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm gonna call you an Uber now. I bid his mother adieu and her beautiful bag. I get into the Uber, I go home. We hung out, I want to say 2 or 3 times after that. The second time was really cute because he was like, I want to take you to get something because I want to make up for the roses that I didn't get you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, just so you know, I like sunflowers. And he was like, damn, I was going to get you red roses. And I was like, you know what? I like red roses too. I like all flowers. And he was like, well, I was going to take you somewhere to get something that has red in it but isn't flowers. And I'm like, okay. So this is when there was a Louboutin store located near the Abbey in West Hollywood. And we pull up, and the way that the store was is there was these big green bushes that covered it. And so you had to press like a little keypad to get inside. So we pull up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know what's hiding behind those bushes. And he just like hits the little button. And the guy's like, hello, welcome to Christian Louboutin. I'm like, are you kidding me? And he was like, you seem like a shoe girly. And I was like, I don't know a single girly that's not a shoe girly, but I am definitely a shoe girly. Walk in, he's like, pick a pair. I'm like, great. And I was like kind of looking between some tan styles, some different, you know, pumps that had the spikes on them. And then I ended up settling on these because I loved how classic they were. And I knew they were never going to go out of style. So I was like, these are definitely the ones. The dude just drops $1,800 like that. Not a fucking care in the world. I'm like, okay, this is the treatment that I deserve. We get the shoes, and he's like, okay, we got your shoes. We're going to go to dinner now. Put on your shoes, and we're going to go to Katana, which is a nice sushi place in West Hollywood. They've got these huge stairs that lead up to the balcony, and then when you're sitting on the balcony, you're kind of just overlooking all of Sunset Boulevard, which is really nice. We're sitting up there, we're eating, and he's just like, so tell me about what's going on with your marriage. I kind of go through the whole spiel, cliff notes of it, and he just looks at me, and he was like, sorry, but your husband's an idiot. The fact that anyone with you could look at anyone else clearly is a madman. I'm like, why am I not just with this beautiful Korean prince, right? And I'm like, yeah, I hear you. And he's like, what do you think it is that keeps you together? And I was like, honestly, being married. Like, I do love him. I also believe that love is a choice in a lot of ways. And the fact that he has chosen to step out of the marriage as well as chose to disrespect me, be emotionally unavailable. If we were just boyfriend, girlfriend, I would have broken up with him. And he was like, divorce is expensive and it is a pain in the ass. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I've never been married, but like when my parents were getting a divorce, I saw how much of a toll it took on my family. Flash forward to now present day, we are at Exchange LA. He of course has a table, and Exchange LA is basically just a huge room, a huge ass dance floor in the middle, and then there's mezzanines on the back and surrounding areas where you can get tables. And everywhere we went, Richie was always getting tables. So he gets a table that's over near the front dance floor, and we're over there, we're vibing, drinking a vodka OJ. I'm kind of like dancing on Richie. Music is pumping, people are ratcheting over there, and there's like steam and smoke. And one of my girlfriends, Selena, goes, hey, I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick. I was like, do you want me to go with you? And she was like, no, 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 don't worry, it's fine. She runs to the bathroom. I'm sitting next to Richie, and we're just kind of chatting, and he's whispering something in my ear, right? Maybe like 10 minutes later, Selena runs over, and she basically like almost hops over the fucking booth to get to me. And she grabbed me. She's like, girl. I'm like, what is it? She was like, I was just in the bathroom. And I'm like, uh-huh. Before she can even finish her sentence, I feel next to me, Richie getting jostled and just motion and tussling next to me. I turn and I see someone on top of Richie just basically wrestling with him. I'm like, what is going on? I look and I immediately recognize white Gucci shoes with the red and green stripe, typical Takis fashion. I was like, oh my God. As soon as I see him, I clock Dino, his friend, standing next to him, yelling at another dude, and all the guys are suddenly getting everywhere. Drinks are being spilled. People are screaming. I'm being shoved out of the way. Guards are running over. I'm like, what is happening right now? I look over, and Takis is just being dragged off of Richie. How in God's name did he find me? And what is he doing here? And what is happening? So everyone's getting shoved out the door, right? And we're all outside with the security guards. People are yelling. Takis is being restrained. Richie is also being restrained. And Richie is just like, red face, like, what is happening? It is commotion. I'm screaming at Takis. I'm like, what is wrong with you? What are you doing here? And he's screaming at Richie, being like, did you, my wife? Did you, my wife? And I'm like, he did. In my brain. I'm just like, you need to leave now. And Takis is like, not without you. You're my wife and we're married. I'm like, you gave up that right months ago when you decided to do what you did, and then we said that we're separated. I'm like, we're separated, blah, blah, blah. And the security guard is like trying to play advocate. Like, he's like, I literally don't care if you guys are married, brothers and sisters, or you hate each other or you love each other. I need all of y'all to leave. Richie's being dragged off with his friends, and my girlfriends are like, oh my God, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. And Taki says, like, you need to come with me now, otherwise we're over. Looking at him, I'm looking at Richie, who's also looking at me, and both of them are looking at me like, who are you gonna go with? And so I just grab Selena, I drag her onto the street over near Hollywood Boulevard, and I just pull her down the street, and her and I just start walking. And I was like, I cannot deal with any of these men right now. I will just be with you. They're both like yelling at me. I'm like, whatever. We run across the street, past oncoming cars. We duck into like this tiny little alleyway. And I'm like, I need to hide and I need to think. And she's like, okay, girlie, what's going on? Like, let's figure this out. Chrissy, our other friend, is texting us. We tell her where we are. She comes and meets us. And she's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. I just need all of them to leave. Richie and Takis are both calling me. I am like on the verge of tears because I'm like, when did this night get so dramatic? How did my life get so dramatic? I don't know what in God's name I'm doing. Pacing in this piss-stained alleyway. And I end up crouching down, just putting my hands on my face because I don't know what I'm going to do next to cat piss and sadness. And then all of a sudden, these huge lights just shine on all of us. We all look over and we're like, what is that? And I noticed that it is a electric BMW i3. Which was Takis and I's car. And I'm like, oh my God, how did he find me? He opens the door and he is like, get in the car now. I'm like, no. And he's like, you need to come with me now. And the girls are like, Takis, if she doesn't want to go with you, she doesn't need to go with you. And he was like, you and I need to talk right now. I'm like, oh my God. So the girls are like, no. I'm like, it's fine. I'll just go with him. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, whatever. I get in the car with this man. He drives us like Fast and the Furious style, 2 seconds flat back to our house. Doesn't say a word the whole time. He opens the door, walks out. He opens my door angrily, opens the elevator door for me. We get in the elevator and we're standing there silently. I'm fuming. And Richie's still calling me. We get up to the place. We both walk in. The dogs are obviously excited to see both of us. And I feel so sad because I'm like, these poor dogs are so confused. And I'm like drunk and angry. When he's pacing, I go sit down on the couch and take my shoes off, my new Lubies. And he's pacing and he notices my shoes. And he's like, nice shoes. I'm like, thanks. And he's like, so, got yourself a new man, huh? That was quick. I'm like, look, we agreed that we were going to be separated. And I'm sure that you haven't been an angel. I'm sure that you've been soiling your loins all over LA. And he's like, you know what? This is stupid. You're acting like a child. I'm like, oh, I'm acting like a child. You're the one that caused all this problem and mess. And I don't even know if I want to be in this situation anymore. And he's like, we love each other and we're supposed to be together. And you are acting out as if I had gone and had a family that you didn't know about. I'm like, well, maybe you would have with old Miss Lucy Boo over there with her psychology degree and her weird fiance. And he's like, you know what? I'm so tired of this. So he sits down next to me and he just like suddenly becomes incredibly gentle and soft. And he just grabbed my face and he was just like, I love you so much. I'm so sorry. I will never do what I did to you again. Please, I don't want you seeing this man anymore. I can't stand the thought of you being with somebody else. You're supposed to be with me. We're married. We can work on this. I'll do whatever it takes. We'll go to therapy. I'll give you anything that you want. I want to be a better man so that I can make you happy. Here's the problem with narcissists and being in a relationship like this, right? You think now to this story that I've been telling now for the past how many parts and all the terrible things that he had done to me. And then it is all unraveled when this man is just sweet to me a couple times, right? I know you're thinking, Kat, what is wrong with you? We want to shake you. I want to shake old me as well. I want to shake her to death because I'm just like, girl, you could have saved yourself a lot of heartache. You could have saved yourself a couple more years of heartache. But y'all, I looked around at our two dogs that were happy to see him. I looked at the apartment that we had worked so hard to build. I looked at this man. I looked at my damn face on his arm. And I was just like, I will give you one more chance. We can try again, but it's going to be a lot of work. And I'm really going to need you to prove yourself because I don't trust you right now. As I'm saying this, Richie is calling me. He looks at my phone and I'm like, okay, also that was not cool. You can't just like go around beating up men. You're not even a citizen. You can't be doing shit like that. He's like, are you gonna answer it? I'm like, yeah, I am. Because you know what? This man has been nothing but good to me while you and I have been separated. He's been very respectful. He's been very kind to me and he did not deserve for you to treat him like that. I'm like, I'm gonna take the call. I'm gonna go outside in the hall. I'm gonna take the call. Do not come out there. You need to do this if you want me to try and work on this. He's like, okay. I walk out in the hallway, I get on the phone. Richie's like, are you okay? I'm like, I am so sorry. He's like, where are you? I'll come get you. I'm like, I'm at home now. And he's like, are you with him? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, Kat, what do you want to do? And I was like, I think I need to try again. And he's like, I thought that you might say that. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Like, did he hurt you? He's like, no, I'm fine. Look, I really want you to take care of yourself. If you ever need me, I'm here. Please don't hesitate to ask. I'm around. I will always have your back. I'm like, thank you. We get off the phone. I go inside. Takis and I are just kind of snuggly on the couch. I mean, we haven't been snuggly or kissing or hugged or anything, right, in like over a month. So it just felt really familiar and good. And I know everyone's screaming like, why didn't you go be with Richie? But I will tell you something that I found out about him later. We are snuggly on the couch. Things lead to another. We do what married people do. And then everything starts to get good again. We're working together. Everything is looking up. We are building the brick and mortar restaurant. And I'm starting to think that maybe we're going to be okay and maybe we're going to work this out. But then, of course, life happens. And I feel like the universe was doing everything it could to try to tell me not to be with this man. 3 weeks later, I realize that me, someone who has been very regular most of her life because I was on birth control, because I'm very, very good about taking my pill. I have an alarm set to take it every single night at 11 p.m. before bed. When did I not take it? When I go to the drawer, I open up the pill case, I'm looking at the dates. I realize the night that Takis and I had gotten into our fight, made up, we had done the deed, and because I was drunk, we had been fighting and it got late, I forgot to take my pill one day. One time. Yes. So, episode 14. She's Mr. Period. Now things are really going to start to unravel. And the discovery I found about good old sweet baby Richie. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all being here. I love you and I see you. Big hug, big kiss.